We are looking to find the domain and range on this particular function. This is a quadratic. The best way to do this is to graph it. You can graph this one by hand. You can also graph it on your calculator. That's what I would recommend. If you graph it on your calculator, it just allows you to graph it really quickly, and you can identify the domain and range maybe a little bit easier. So here's what it looks like, and it's the same graph as x squared. The only difference is it's been moved down 3 units. So the first thing we're going to look for is the domain, and the domain are all the x values, okay? And x are the horizontal ones. We go across this way. And so the first thing that I do is I bring in something that will help me view this. And a lot of times I just bring in a pen and I drag it across my calculator to see where it intersects. Now, the big thing you need to be aware of here is that these have arrows. So whereas right now, this one does not look like it intersects, but this arrow means that this one is going to continue on and on and on and on and on. Eventually up here, somewhere up here, it will intersect this line. So it does intersect. And as we drag this one across, it's going to intersect everywhere along here, everywhere. So the domain on this one is going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. And anytime you're using infinity, we're going to use parentheses. Everything in between here. So we've got negative infinity, comma, and this comma means everything in between here. This is not an ordered pair. So it's a little bit different from what we've done previously. This one is not. It's just, when we're talking about the domain, it's everything in between there. The next thing we need to look at are our range values. And those are our y values. And y values, we got a lot of y values here that it goes. This is the ones up and down. A lot of them up here, but down here we really don't have any. But again, I'm going to use the same process. I'm going to bring something in, and I'm going to drag it across. You notice right here, I'm not intersecting anything. There are no arrows indicating that this one goes down. So the y values do not exist down here for this particular function. As I drag it up, no y values, no y values. Right here is my first y value. Okay, so that one looks like it is right at -3 is my first y value. And it includes -3. That is a part of this one. So, and as I drag it up further, it includes everything past that. And I've got arrows indicating it continues on. So it looks like I don't include anything below -3, but I do include -3. So I'm going to write this one as -3 comma infinity. And I have a bracket around this one now. Bracket indicates that it is included in the values, okay? So a couple things you need to be aware of here. Anytime we use infinities, we're going to use a parentheses. We are not going to use a bracket. Now, if the number is included like it was on this one, -3, then we use a bracket. We don't use parentheses. However, if -3 were not included for some reason, we would use a parenthesis. This would be a parenthesis right here. But in this case, it was included. -3 is part of this range. So we use the bracket.